Hi everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Ungrownups video transmission. Today we're going to be taking a look at The Walking Dead Season 2 Deputy Rick Grimes and RV Zombie figures. Now, I actually found these figures in their larger double-sided, or I don't know how you really say it. It's like a larger package. It's more horizontal at our local Toys R Us a couple days ago. But they only had Shane, and they had none of the zombie figures. And they were about $15. So that was a little too much for me to pay to go ahead and pick these guys up at Toys R Us. But over the weekend, my wife and I went into the mall, and I went into GameStop to pay off my Wii U. Yes, I can't wait to get that thing. And they had these guys for $12.99. So, and they had them in a much smaller, more slender package, which I just really like. For me, I'm more about less packaging. I think in this capacity, less is more. And I think these guys look amazing. So let's get these spun around real quick, and you can take a look at the back of the packaging. I think they're probably both identical. Yeah, there we go. They actually had every one of these guys. I chose not to pick up a Bicycle Girl, but I'm just not really impressed. I think it's a cool gimmick, but I like my zombies shambling around. And they did have the Well Zombie. He splits apart. He looks really cool. I was almost tempted to pick him up, but I had to go with the Screwdriver Head Zombie instead. And of course they had Shane, which is such a missed opportunity. I think of all the versions of Shane that we've had in the seasons, I would have much rather had him in the T-shirt and the police hat. I think that would have been a lot cooler. But bald-headed, crazy Shane, yeah, I don't know, it's just not doing it for me. The head sculpt's not that great. I don't think it really looks much like him, so I was okay to pass that figure up. And I don't know, we'll see if time will tell if I'll go back and actually get him. But if we do, we'll shoot a review and we'll have it up here on Video Transmission. So let's get these guys open and out of their package and give them a look. Okay, here we go. We have these guys open and out of their package, and I got to tell you, I think that this line's getting a little bit better. It's getting incrementally better, but it still has a long way to go. McFarlane, for all of their sculpting and detail and paint that they do that's so well, they do not know how to do articulation. I mean, they never really have. I mean, you have like these crazy cut joints here that really only work in one direction. They only look good. So it's in one way. You can't even turn them in a different way for it to be functional. And of course Rick's got them here in the crotch. Rick he does have some ratchet joints around the ankles, which is really good. And as you can see, I even have the zombie having to stand on Rick's rabies loop in order to keep him standing upright until I can just find that great. Maybe it's just the table I have these on while filming this, but he does stand up on my shelf pretty well. You can see there's joints exposed here at the wrist and elbow for Rick, but just being able to put that gun up on his shoulder and get that kind of pose is great. Now, I know you guys are probably wondering the same thing I was from the very first time I saw this figure in the store was, does Rick's hat come off? It actually does not. It is glued on. It is affixed on. And that would have been really good to have, a really good feature to have, so that we could have, put the hat on Rick and had him in his full sheriff gear from Series 1. It would have been really good to finally have that piece, but sadly, we do not. If you want Rick in his full, sheriff gear, police gear with hat, you would have to get the comic version, which is a great figure in its own right, but, if you're wanting to collect these figures from the show, then, yeah, I would say we still have to wait for that definitive Rick to come. But as far as Ricks go, this one is definitely my favorite over the first two in Series 1. One thing I didn't notice, but it is actually hidden behind the label, is that Rick actually comes with two different hands. This hand is sort of flat and laid out. This one is a gun trigger finger hand. For the rifle, it's a little larger to let the rifle through. This is the one he comes packaged with. It is a gun hand, but it's a tighter grip, and it's for the pistol, it does come out, but it's currently in his holster. Let's look at these guys real quick, a little closer. You can see that the likeness is better than I mean, much better than the Rick that we got in Series 1. This looks a little bit more like Andrew Lincoln from the show, but it still has, a long way to go, I think, before we really get that definitive version of Rick from the show. But some nice detail, great paint apps on his shirt. He does look dirty and sweaty and bloody after too many battles. The rifle looks really good, especially in this position, draped over his shoulder. But again, those joints, man, they're kind of obtrusive. And, the fact that he comes with the loop, I think, is great. This is an awesome zombie. This is the RV zombie from the Season 2, Episode 1 opener. This is the guy who gets it in the eye with the screwdriver. His neat feature is that you can actually, he gets his head split open and you can knock his head back, which is really, really good. And some good articulation in the wrist, and yes, the screwdriver does actually come out and it just leaves a hole in his eye, so you can relive that scene. He does have some articulation in the arms, and it looks at the wrist, it looks really good. I think everybody kind of knew going in that McFarlane was going to nail the zombie aspect of this toy line. I don't think there was any question in that at all. But man, these figures look really good. They do fit in very nicely with some of the figures from season 1, from Series 1. They right in scale with Series 1 Rick, who, let's see if I can get him to stand before he knocks everybody over. And boy, crazy arms with Daryl, my personal favorite character from the show. This figure looks great. He's got some neat articulation in the legs, and he goes a long way to articulate nicely for his crossbow action. But man, those arms, I would say across the board, except for with the zombies, that's probably the one downfall with this line, is the articulation and the fact that the arms seem to be a lot longer than they really would be in reality. So that's kind of a shame. I do have the other zombie, but his parts and pieces are kind of packed away, so I won't show him from Season 1, the one that actually tears apart. But these figures look great. They fit in great. I hope the line continues. There's a few more characters I'd love to see to be made, and whose toy shelf can't use more zombies? So hope you guys enjoy the review. If you do, please like us or comment on the video. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, and as always, you can check us out at ungrownups.com. You can also find our bi-monthly podcast. Every 2 weeks we do a new episode. That's going to be on iTunes.com. You can find it there. You can't find it on iTunes.com. There's no .com. Just go on iTunes and look for the Ungrownups podcast. Also, you can always find us having our conversations over at facebook.com/ungrownups. Until next time, this has been Mark with a new Ungrownups video transmission.